Hi everybody, welcome to my channel for a new tournament introduction video. I'm going to attend next weekend to the maybe the biggest tournament in the world this year. I don't know. I don't know if maybe the Spain qualifier had more attendance than this one. Let me know if you know. But it's going to be a huge event, for sure the biggest event in France and in the French community. That's for sure. Huge event, bigger than ETC. And this is the Régions. Maybe you remember, I already reported it last year. It's always towards the middle or end of the... Yeah, it depends actually. The last year was also towards the end of the year, and before it was always before ETC. So this year it's again in the middle of France, and there are a lot of teams going to this tournament. As you can see on the right side, we are more than 300 people. We have 29 tables, which is 58 teams of 6. So huge attendance. We have teams mostly from France, a couple of Swiss teams. We are 3 Swiss teams. There are also a couple of Belgian teams, 3 Belgian teams, I guess. And that's it. So all French-speaking teams are going to attend to this tournament. So all people that like tournaments, that like big tournaments, are going to be here. And maybe the special aspect of the Régions, if you don't know it yet, it's the painting score is bigger than usually. It's like 20%, and there is also some trophies that are prepared. There is also painting ranking. So you put all the points together, but there is also some special trophies, like I think those ones on the left are for the best painted team. So there are also a lot of guys that are coming to this tournament that are very good painters and that have amazing army. As you can see, this is all the silverware that you can win during this event. So really amazing, great organization. They roll already before the tournament what are the combination of deployment and secondary objective for the 5 rounds. And yeah, that's a couple of information. Let's talk about my list. I won't talk about my teammates, but basically I'm playing with Xavier, who is our ETC captain. So all my teammates were with me in Italy at ETC. We have Xavier on Kingdom of Aquitaine. We have Thomas on Vermin Swarm. Dimitri on War of the Dark God. We have Paul with his usual Dwarvenhold MSU shooty list. Then we have myself with Ogre Khan, and I'm missing someone. Who did I miss? Andy with Ibon Elf. So very solid team, I guess. We are one of the favorites definitely to try to win it. Let me talk about my list, and this video will be a bit more hobby oriented as usual, as you usually see in my tournament introduction, because I try also to improve some of my painting. I got a solid painting note last year. I got a 15 out of 20, which is quite good. I was quite happy with, but I still try to improve the army, the way it's looking, and maybe try to get a 16 this year. So yeah, I won't talk too much, but as you can see, this is always going to be presented at Régions. I like this aspect of being in a gold case, pirate gold case, and I put all my army displayed in this box. I will also, so first of all, I will display a video to explain you what are the entries in the army. One by one, and also try to show you some zoom, and after that I will explain you how did I produce or create this box that makes my presentation board very easy to transport in comparison to others. So here you have my army. Let's zoom in and talk you through it. So in the middle you have my Great Khan Gracious, as you can see is here in the middle. Looking the same as it was last year already. I did a lot of conversion job last year on him. Really, I'm a big fan of this model, so I'm quite happy with the conversion. On the right here you have my BSB that I improved quite a bit. I changed completely the concept of the banner and also the colors. On the left you have my mage, Master Shamanism. So in the middle the Great Khan has the Khagadai with 4 and the BSB as MR2 and also Viper Curse. Here you have my Tribesmen. I decided to go with Iron Fist and still the Swift Trap banner. I included some Scrapling in the list, full command, throwing weapon. Then in the back you have 2 darts, 1 dart of Tribesmen, 1 dart of Bruisers with nothing at all, naked dart. So this is my core setup. On the left you have the Frosty. Yeah, in the front here you have the Merc Vets. Poison, Plate Armor, Musician, Champion. I also did some job on the Musician that is on the far right. And then you have my 3 Giants, so I have 2 of them. The Giant supplement was allowed, so I created some Cauldron, and I'm playing 2 Cauldron Giants. So they have a 5-up regen and a breast weapon, strength 3 AP1 that they can reload at the end of a melee phase if they do more than 4 wounds. So I saw that could be quite interesting to play, and yeah, you can see how it looks like. So I included some chains further and stuff in the back of the Giant to make them more interesting. And the Cauldron, the things that is cool is they are removable. So if I use the breast weapon, I can remove the Cauldron and then put it back when I reload it. On the far right, you have my strength 7 Giant, so great weapon Giant. On the far left, the Frost Mammoth that you should already know with all the ice below him. I really love the model. It's a huge model, quite hard to transport. And on the far top right, you have a Sabretooth Tiger that I forgot to mention. That's how my list is. So to sum it up, I wanted to switch a little bit my ETC list from this summer. I removed the Tuskers that I was very happy about them all season long. I thought they were quite interesting, but the list was for me a bit too static. I wanted to add some mobility to be able to be more aggressive, to open a bit more the games. And that's why I removed the Tuskers and replaced them by 2 Cauldron Giant, and then made some adjustment to get the last Giant with strength 7. So I have 4 monsters, my 2 main blocks, some core, chip unit, and chaff, and the 3 characters, and that's it. And I'm playing Shamanism instead of Thaumaturgy that I used this summer, because I think when I don't have the Tuskers, I need the Shamanism to protect my Merc Vets in shooty matchup. I think it opened up some matchup as well. So that's why I decided to try out Shamanism again. 2-3 words on the box. How did I build it? So I made something. I wanted my presentation board to be able to fit in a backpack. So I did 2 separate parts that I can join together. I have here, as you can see, some stick that I can put here in the middle. And then I have some clips here to make it, yeah, that it doesn't move again. So it's quite solid, quite fixed, quite stable. And then in the middle, I have my the 2 parts of my presentation board with some foam in the middle for the transport. And then I'm just holding that together with a cord that I tie up. Basically, that's it. But yeah, it's not too easy to construct. I'm not an expert on how to build such thing, but that was an interesting experience for me, and it's definitely a very good way to have a presentation board that is still quite heavy, I must admit, but it fits in a backpack, and that way I can use it in most of my tournaments if I want to. Let's talk a bit more about hobby. So I did some improvement. I call that customization. That's something I think Chayama James did also quite a lot. It's continually improving, modifying models that it looks always a bit better. For example, my BSB on the far left, I wasn't too happy with him because of 2 reasons. The first reason, the standard was way too high and not stable enough. It was just like fixed towards the hip of the model, and it was always falling down after 1 game. So very annoying to play with. Second aspect was the colors of the BSB. If you see the scheme, so the light is not perfect on some pictures, sorry, but you will know what I'm talking about. If you see the scheme, it's like quite dark close in comparison to what I did after, and it was basically looking a bit darker to the rest of the unit. It was going to be mostly into, which is the shooty Merc Vets that have a lot of armor that is quite shiny, so to say. So I decided to change a bit the way his clothes look like, put some light gray and some colors instead of the dark violet, and I changed completely BSB. I cut it in half. I used this part here for the Giant, and the top part I created a sort of a backpack. So I put some stuff together, and everything is like, I don't know how to explain that, but it's fixed together in a way that it's very solid and should be much more enjoyable to play with. And also, I think the model is a bit more dynamic than this one, which is like a stick in the ground. It's not showing much movement. So this one is is much better looking. I think I also made some improvement on the painting, like the beard is much more lighter and stuff like that. And the Shaman, I already did some job last year, which was the Cauldron. So it was like surfing on the Cauldron instead of just being on the floor to pop more inside of a unit. You see already who is the Shaman, who are the characters. I want my character to really pop, and you can see where they are straight away. And they are like main figures, very charismatic in the army. So I put him on a Cauldron to be way bigger. Then I put him, that was already last year, I put like here, like he's casting a spell, and this year I just put like some stuff on his face to make him look a bit more scary, but not big jobs. The Tribesmen were looking like that before, and basically one thing that I didn't like is the first thing is not really what you see is what you get, because I don't have light armor on the models, so I put them some plates, like from GW. So I put some plates which also increase the togetherness of the army, because they look a bit more greenish. Everything looks better together. And then since I'm playing Iron Fist, I cut some ends and I put instead Iron Fist, which is also very good looking. So I have a mix of paired weapon and Iron Fist to be able to play both. But definitely the unit is much better looking, and also some improvement on the banner. I put some skull in the front, because it's in the front you weren't seeing too much the banner, so I tried to put something to create a bit more 3D in the front. Also the musician, I put some music on his back, so to say, so it's looking bigger. Yeah, the 3D effect of the front rank is much better. I worked a bit on the base, added some stuff on the base to increase a bit the 3D on the base and like how it's fold basically. Giants, also another good example. So it was looking like that before, and basically I added some elements because it's a slave giant. I thought using some chains might suit him perfectly, so I put some stuff on his back. Like you can see, here's the head of a frost mammoth. Here it's like from a kraken, so I put some stuff on his back. Also, it's a good way to be able to fix the Cauldron if I need to play it. Yeah, that's it more or less. So basically some improvement on particular unit to try to improve a bit my note, and altogether I think the army is looking way better now. To conclude, maybe the biggest tournament of the year. Let me know if you know another tournament that is bigger than this one, but definitely the place to go for the French community. It's an hobby fest, like I mentioned before. A huge motivation for us to paint, to improve armies. I saw so many people investing a lot of time for this, so it's really something crazy and really good, I think, for the ninth age itself, that is often criticized for being only competitive and not anymore about the miniatures. And I think it's a great show that it's still about the miniatures. For some people it's mainly about the miniatures also. An occasion for me to meet a lot of my French-speaking followers, something that I enjoyed, for example, at ETC, and that I enjoy in most of the big event. I really like to speak with people that follow my content, that like it, to get some feedbacks on what I do. It's really something I enjoy. And a tournament that I didn't won yet, so that's something more personal. Swiss team won it last year, but I wasn't part of it. I was playing for a French team with some of my club teammates, going more relaxed, but we still end up 5th over like 30 teams, so we're quite happy with it. But still, I haven't won this tournament yet. That's I think my 4th participation, so definitely this year I will try to go for the win and get a trophy at the end of the weekend. Would be really great. So guys, that's it. What you're going to see after this video are basically my training games. I played 3 or 4 training games with Miley's before the tournament itself, and after that I will start with battle report of the tournament. So I will try to publish everything quite fast, because as you know, there is the point update coming soon, and I don't like to watch battle reports if a list is not valid anymore. So I will try to produce that as fast as I can. Guys, take care and talk to you soon on the channel. Bye bye.